Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. Today's video, I'm going to do another video in my series. I'm ranking every Best Picture winner, all 95. Started this, it seems like a couple months ago. I'm down to my top 10 favorite movies that won Best Picture. I'm going to go 10 through 6 on this list itself. And man, these top 10 really good movies. Just to tell you something, I own 9 of these 10 movies on Blu-ray or DVD. So that tells you these are some of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, stay tuned to hear my thoughts here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing well here on a late Wednesday night. Yeah, had a pretty good day. I did a video earlier where I played and sang the Monkey song, I'm a Believer. So thank you everybody voted in my poll and picked that to be my first video where I sang and played the guitar anyways. And I've gotten pretty good feedback. So I appreciate everybody watching it and giving me positive feedback. I really, appreciate that. It's a little nerve-wracking doing that in front of the camera. And all that. So I don't know, I'll probably go forward and do some more in the future. So stay tuned to see more of that. But I also need to do this video because Oscars are coming up next Sunday. Today's Wednesday. So it is coming up pretty quick. And I've got 10 movies I need to talk about, ranking all the Best Picture winners. I'd like to get this done before the next movie gets nominated, or we find out what the next winner is, which we all know it's Oppenheimer, but I like to get this done so then I can put Oppenheimer on the list next time I do this. Anyway, so especially when we get to 100, that'd be cool. Once we get to like 100 Best Picture winners, that'd be your great 100 list, I think. I hope a lot of people do that because that'd be a big deal getting to 100. Anyways, yeah, so talking about these movies, oh man, all of these are just really great movies. These are all 4.5, star movies to 5-star movies. I mean, we're getting into the cream of the crop here with these ones. And again, I have to thank my sister Abby. She won my Oscar prediction contest last year. And this is the project that she picked for me to do next. Anyways, it took me a while to get to it just because I had so many other things going on, but happy to do this because I don't know too many people have watched all 95 Best Picture winners. I feel like I'm one of the few people, at least in my group of YouTube, because I'm kind of the big Oscar person around. So I like watching all these movies and kind of gain that knowledge. And, saying I'm one of those people that's watched all these movies. Yeah, and by the way, I have an Oscar predictions contest right now that you can chime in. So you have to get it in by next Sunday. So we're getting close to finishing. Yeah, so you don't have too much time left to, you need to predict 20 different categories. I did a video on it, and I also have YouTube tab on my community page, whatever. So either go to my community page on my channel to see what the rules are, what categories you need to predict, or watch the YouTube video that I have. And yeah, probably the best way people seem to be doing is going on my community page and put all the predictions there anyways. And I think I got like maybe 6 or so people that have put in their predictions. So not too many people. And there's top 3 prizes. So right now, half of the people that have entered in are going to win a prize, kind of in a sense. Last year I had 9 participants. So this year I'm not doing very well, unfortunately. But anyways, so if anybody wants to get in before Sunday, feel free to join in on the predictions contest. All right, so going from that, let's go to number 10. Number 10 favorite movie that won Best Picture is definitely one of the big ones, and that is The Godfather, number 10, which won Best Picture in 1972. Now, a lot of people probably have this number one. This is definitely one of the biggest Best Picture winners of all time. AFI had it like, number 4 or 3 on their list. I think maybe 4 or something like that on their list. So most everybody's going to say this is like a top 5 movie all time. Yeah, so it's definitely a great movie. It's in my top 10. So barely cracked in there, but I had to put it in my top 10. It's interesting because I'm not as big on it, I feel like, as other people, even though it's still my top 10 favorite Best Picture winners, and I have the Blu-ray here. I'm not like a big gangster movie guy. Like, I'm not a big fan of a lot of gangster movies or shows and all that. I don't know, it's just not a genre I've ever really gotten into. And but what makes this one great, and I'll say, like, for most of my life, I haven't really been into this movie. It's like in the last 5 years, I really started getting into this movie. I watched it, and I was like, wow, this is actually really good. And the more times I watch it, the more I'm like, man, there's some really good stuff here. It is a bit long, if I remember right. It's over 3 hours, I want to say, or somewhere around there. So it's like, yeah, it's a bit long. It's hard because the main characters are bad guys, so it's hard to root for them necessarily. But what it has going for it that makes this one of the best is the acting is just some of the best acting I've ever seen in a movie. Al Pacino should have won like Best Actor for this movie. Al Pacino totally stole the scenes, and I love he's kind of the main character as Michael Corleone. I just love how he's very soft spoken for a lot of the movie, but then every once in a while, but he's intense. He's like soft spoken but intense. It's like I've never seen an actor do it so, as well as Al Pacino, and at the end he can blow up every once in a while. But his performance is just absolutely phenomenal. Marlon Brando is fine. I always felt like he was a little, overhyped, as he won the Oscar for Best Actor for this role. But I thought Al Pacino was much, much better. But still, it's a iconic performance from Marlon Brando as well. I mean, the opening scene where he's at the wedding, where everybody's coming in and asking favors, that's a great sequence. James Caan's really good. Like, I don't think he's ever been nominated for a performance, but I thought this was actually a really good James Caan performance. I really liked him in here as I think it's Sonny, kind of the hot-headed brother. And then the youngest brother also, what a great actor he is as well. I forget his name. I always forget his name and I can't see it here, but he's great. I mean, Diane Keaton is an amazing actress as well. And you got Robert Duvall. I mean, he's great. I mean, this is just top tier acting at its best. And to me, the best scenes are when they're just sitting around just talking and acting. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like Hall of Fame actors, sitting around talking. And overall, there's some great scenes too. Like I said, that first scene's iconic, the wedding, all that. The scene where Al Pacino is meeting with another head of another family that he's kind of rivaling against, and he has to go get the gun under the toilet, and then he has to shoot him, and the train's going, and oh man, what a great intense sequence, and how it ends. It's like, man, that was a great sequence. And then the very last scene is obviously iconic, where he's being the godfather of his niece, and he's having all these murders happen as it's going on. Great, iconic, yeah. Also a lot of great lines. I can't say a lot of great lines. He sleeps with the fishes. I'll give him an offer he can't refuse. I didn't talk about the horse's head in the bed. Oh my gosh, like that was a great scene. Don't ever take sides against family. I mean, lots of great stuff there. Number 10. Number 9 is the one movie I don't have at the moment. I need to get this movie. One of my favorite musicals of all time. Might be my only musical in my top 10. I have to look. The only musical in my top 10 actually. Interesting enough, that is West Side Story, which won Best Picture in 1961. I believe directed by Robert Wise and somebody else, anyways. And it's a kind of a Romeo and Juliet kind of idea, but it's two rival gangs, the Jets and the Sharks. One gang is like the white gang, and the other is a Puerto Rican gang, I believe. And so there's this racist kind of thing going on, and then two members fall in love from both gangs, kind of, Maria and the other guy, anyways. And what makes this movie, though, is obviously the songs. A lot of great musicals from the beginning. Keep It Cool Boy, Somewhere, Tonight. Officer Crumpkey is like always probably my favorite though. I just love that song. It's so funny. Um, in America, I mean, yeah, they're just, I Feel Pretty. You can go on and on. Great musical numbers. Also, the dancing is quite good overall. All the dance numbers. The music, the score is great. And it's got actually a pretty, tragic, sad ending to it. Of course, is Romeo and Juliet. Not as sad as Romeo and Juliet, but still has kind of a sad ending to it. But yet, very emotionally powerful too at the same time. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite musicals. So that's why it's here at number 9 on my list. West Side Story. Number 8 on my list is I do like my sword action movies, and this is one of my favorite here at number 8, and that is Gladiator, which won Best Picture in 2000. And this Blu-ray, thanks, was given to me by my good friend Mike from Did You See That, which I'm very thankful for him. Yeah, and which he still has not seen to this day. Mike, it's number 8 on my list. It's a movie you need to see for sure. But yeah, I've always been, Russell Crowe, this was like peak Russell Crowe, I would say kind of peak Russell Crowe when he really became one of the biggest actors of this decade, kind of coming up to this movie. And this is really the pinnacle, I would say. Yeah, of course, he won Best Actor for it, won Best Picture. Ridley Scott didn't win Best Director, though. But also, Joaquin Phoenix, first movie I saw him in, and he's, to me, one of the greatest actors to this day. He's just killing it as an actor and won an Oscar eventually, but he got nominated in this one, and he steals about every scene. Joaquin Phoenix is so good. But yeah, it's a kind of a revenge tale. I love a good revenge tale, Guy gets wronged, and now his family's killed by this maniac, and now he's got to get back at him, and he becomes a gladiator, a general who becomes a gladiator, who becomes, I forget, something else, but great story. Yeah, general becomes a gladiator, and then goes up against the emperor. He defies an emperor and all this. It's epic. The action scenes are really good. The gladiator fight scenes are really good. Overall, the musical score, Hans Zimmer, amazing Hans Zimmer score. I love Hans Zimmer. Like I said, all the performances are really good, and a great climatic scene that kind of, really satisfying. I guess it's a very satisfying ending to the movie. Love that last scene with Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix, two great actors acting across each other. Love that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's epic. You got everything from, at times it was good special effects, the costuming, the production design. Just a really well-made movie. Anyways, so yeah, one of Ridley Scott's best, in my opinion. Maybe my favorite of his. So yeah, Gladiator at number 8 on my list. Number 7, funny enough, going from back-to-back years, actually, and back-to-back Russell Crowe movies. And number 7 is A Beautiful Mind, which was directed by Ron Howard. His kind of, not my favorite Ron Howard movie, that'd probably be Apollo 13, but still one of my favorite Ron Howard films, and the only one I believe that's won Best Picture at this point, and won him the Best Director, which I think he totally deserves. I think he's a really great director, in my opinion. And again, Russell Crowe wins the Oscar for Gladiator, comes back with this movie, gets another great performance, doesn't win, gets nominated for Best Actor, but does not come across. He should have won, I think, Best Actor for this, by the way. He gave an even better performance here than Gladiator. Of course, based on a true story of a mathematician, John Nash, and then his struggle with schizophrenia, where he's hallucinating, and he's married to wonderful Jennifer Connelly, who wins the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. But he also got Paul Bettany. The first time I saw him in a movie, I think he's a really good actor, and he does a good job in a small kind of supporting role. And also, Christopher Plummer's in here, really good. Also, Ed Harris. Ed Harris is such a good actor. Another good supporting performance. So yeah, overall performance were good. And it's a really heartwarming kind of, really leaves you, this guy's struggling and people don't give up on him. His family, his friends don't give up on him. He overcomes this, illness, schizophrenia, to try to have somewhat of a normal life. And he's a genius. He's this math genius who, comes up with some ideas that I guess change the world in a way, or as they say in the movie. Very dramatic. Had some comedic moments as well. Crow is so good. I mean, in my opinion, his best performance I think he's ever given. I think Russell Crowe was like the best actor in this period of time as well. Yeah, the ending is so good. So yeah, uh, just almost leaves you in tears. Yeah, really great movie. A Beautiful Mind. At number 7 on my list, and the last movie I'm going to talk about, number 6 on my list. I'm going for an older movie actually. Probably the oldest one that's in that's in this top 10, and I think a very underrated movie in the sense that people don't talk about. But this is The Best Years of Our Lives, which I've actually done I think a review on my channel before. I've talked about it before on my channel. Yeah, it's funny. It's a black and white movie, though this covers in color, as you see in the back here. But yeah, this was 1946, so we're talking about in the 40 period. It's a William Wyler movie. William Wyler, one of my favorite directors, he directed some absolute amazing movies. This was like a very interesting movie at the time because it's about 3 soldiers coming back from World War II. So it's dealing with after effects and kind of PTSD that happens to soldiers. And I want to say it's like one of the first movies that kind of deals with it because we're talking about 1946. I mean, World War II is like just ending at this point for America. So it's really hitting at home for everybody that was alive at this time this movie came out, in dealing with soldiers coming back home from the war. But yeah, you got 3 different soldiers, 3 different issues. Frederick March, who won the Oscar for Best Actor here, comes back to his family and trying to get back into being a banker and a family life. His daughter, Teresa Wright, which I love Teresa Wright. Like man, like I want to marry her. When I watch this movie, I'm like, I want to marry Teresa Wright. She's like, she's so beautiful and she's so nice. I love her in this. Danny Andrews, very good. Danny Andrews here. He's coming back and he's having a lot of PTSD, nightmares and stuff, and he's having a hard time with his new wife and getting back into getting a job and stuff. And then it's not pictured here, but you got a very interesting performance from I'm trying to look for it. Harold Russell. Harold Russell, who is not an actor. He's an actual World War II vet who lost his arm, or lost kind of his arms in the war, or the upper part of his arms, or his hands, I guess, more like his hands kind of. He loses them in the war, and he has hooks. He has these like hooked that he puts on, prosthetics that he puts on, and that's how and that's the real person. He really did that, and he plays a character who also lost his arms in the war and has prosthetics. So interesting performance again, non-actor who really lived this to play this role, and he absolutely nails it. He has some of the most emotional scenes in the movie, some of the best scenes in the movie, in fact, and wins the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his performance, which is really awesome to see, and all that. But yeah, so just a great story and very emotional. There's also a really good romance here between Dana Andrews and Teresa Wright that I really like in here. And you just really feel for these characters coming back. I always feel for people coming back from war. It's a horrible thing. Really feel for all veterans that have to deal with that. But yeah, so this is one of the first and most important movies, I think, dealing with PTSD and soldiers coming back from war. And I think done very, very well. Performances, I guess, like I said, all performances just absolutely fantastic. Really well directed movie. Definitely one you got to check out if you haven't seen it. That is The Best Years of Our Lives. Number 6 on my list. So 10 through 6. I got 5 more left to go, and I'll probably do that, here pretty soon before Sunday, hopefully. And I'll be definitely putting out a lot of Oscar content since the Oscars are coming out this Sunday. I'll probably rank the Best Picture nominees. I'll give my predictions. All that probably coming up the next couple of days. And also, I need to plug on the 11th, Monday, after the Oscars, I'm going to be on another channel, which I'll put in the show notes, I guess, from a guy named Kieran. And I'm forgetting the name of his channel right now, so I'll definitely put it down in my notes. I think it's like Film Central or something like that. Anyways, he invited me on his channel to talk about the Oscars, so I appreciate that. Love talking about the Oscars. Definitely something I'll be talking a lot about the next couple of weeks, probably, as the whole Oscar movie season is coming to an end. Anyways, besides that, feel free to comment on what do you think about these 5 movies that I have here in my top 10. Have you seen them? What do you think? Love reading the comments. And just thank you to anybody who watched this video. Thank you for liking it. And thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate all of you.